Grace Pollard. I am 14 years old. I live in Morrisville, Indiana, and I go to Paul Hadley Middle School. As a child, I grew up in a Christian home. We started going to church when I was 2 months old, so most of my childhood memories can be connected to church in some way. I always prayed before I went to bed, prayed before I ate, and we read the Bible, and we always told stories, and we went to vacation Bible school, and all these different things when I was little are just based around the Christian church. As I always had a good childhood, my parents were really loving and caring, and I've always had that childhood a lot of people have dreamed of. And then as I started going to middle school, I started to question my faith a lot. I mean, you just start changing in middle school. Your attitude starts changing. The way you think about the world starts changing as the people around you change too. And at that time, my mom lost her job, and my dad was diagnosed with a brain disease known as Chiari malformation, which is where your skull doesn't form correctly as babies. So part of his cerebellum, which is your balance part of your brain, was out of his skull. So he couldn't walk very well. It was just a stressful time. For a long time, we didn't know if it was fatal or if it was just he could live with it, or if he'd be in a wheelchair. And with my mom not having a job, it was completely and utterly stressful. And then throughout that time, the faith started questioning as to why my father was getting this. My dad never did anything, so why does he have this? And I couldn't really talk about my questions. And then it got better over time with my family, and my dad completely healed, but I still had questions. My family was always supportive of my questions, but I just didn't feel like they could completely understand where I was coming from, because their mind just doesn't work the same way mine does. I like to have answers, and I like to have specific answers, and if my questions aren't answered, I typically don't want to believe in what I'm questioning. And I know that with faith, there are questions that can't be answered, but for some of them, I needed answers. Around this time, I started going to Campus Life. My Campus Life director and my friend just invited me to go, and I was like, "Here's, let's give it a shot." And as I started going, I just felt comfortable with the people there. I felt like I could talk to them about my questions and not be criticized for the way I was thinking. As my faith got stronger, my Campus Life director and my friend and I decided to form a small group. We started a book called Can I Ask That? And it's basically a book full of questions and answers about your faith. And through that experience, I definitely became a lot closer to God. I had some of the answers I needed, answers that I feel I could not have kept my faith if it hadn't been answered. And it just overall helped strengthen my relationship with both my friends and God. Through my small group, I definitely got a lot closer to God. A lot of my questions got answered, and I just felt that a connection was forming between me and God, one that I feel I couldn't live without, if that makes any sense. And I started to realize that as my questions got answered, there were also some that can't be answered, and I'm okay with that. Why? Because Jesus is something that in and of itself is unanswerable. He is the one true King, and sometimes you don't have your answers, and that's okay. He's going to be there for me, and I trust that, and I love him.